Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? A little while ago, I did a video about what sort of science fiction games might interest me, what sort of concepts. Sean Driscoll had asked me, and yeah, I thought about it a little bit and kind of put out a sort of rambly video. This video will probably be a little rambly as well, but I put a little bit of thought into it, but not too much. It was more like an off-the-cuff video, what sort of interested me. Because, you know, if you watched my channel, you know that I mostly played fantasy, kind of what I cut my teeth on. So I thought about this off and on, talked to some people after I'd made that video, you know, just kind of thought about like what other things might interest me. And, you know, I couldn't find one of my old advertisements for the science fiction book club back in the 80s. And they had this ad for those that book club, and it said "What if," and it was a picture of some kind of monster or whatever the heck it was. And they give you these various what ifs. What if this happened? What if that happened? And you know, there were obviously plots for books. That a premise always gets me. I can do another video just on premises in general. But I thought about that off and on, and I looked at different types of games, different types of concepts. You know, things like cyberpunk kind of interest me because of I like that idea that's just you know one specific thing. It's kind of like this world with a twist, to steal Runesinger's line. I like that idea. That you know anything that's like transhumanism or you play in a role-playing game for the most part, not always, but you kind of want to be a little bit different than the average person. So, okay, little cyberpunk stuff makes you a little bit different. Some kind of dystopian future, some kind of post-apocalyptic thing, all those things really kind of interest me. Any sort of this world with a twist. Some kind of significant event that maybe changed, you know, reality as we know it. Maybe it's just a world that's like 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now, what it would be like. And of course, there's plenty of stories we've all read about that sort of thing. You know, what happens when aliens arrive on Earth? You know, is it invasion? Is it like Alien? You know, where we all of a sudden encounter some kind of really horrific life form. Maybe it's not aggressive in that manner. Maybe it just infects people. You know, that sort of thing. Or what about like something more like Starship Troopers? Whether the aliens actually come to work, you know, come to Earth rather, and they come to work, but you know, they come to kick some butt, or we encounter them out in space. What would that be like? Or just a kind of like, you know, if you remember Earth Final Conflict, Gene Roddenberry's Last Hurrah. You know, what if they show up and they're our benefactors for a while? Then you start to uncover like what else is going on with all that sort of thing. You know, or you know, I'm not a huge fan. I'm not against it of playing supers in terms of like we're going to be really superhero-ish. But what if we're just a little bit different? What if we've got some kind of abilities that other people don't have? That's kind of intriguing, especially you know if there's some kind of drawback to that, like mass hysteria and you know all that stuff. We can still have witch hunts in this day and age. Any kind of parallel realities. You know, love the His Dark Materials series by Philip Pullman. You know, so there's a parallel reality, and you can go from one to another. What if there's something bigger going on that we just don't understand, but we get drawn into, get sucked into? You know, I like that whole idea of something's wrong, but what? You just know something's wrong. I just threw down a few other ideas, like you know something like the Matrix. It doesn't have to be the Matrix, but you know something's not quite right. What is it? And we start to uncover what that is. And of course, you've got the classical, Terminator scenario, or something like Blade Runner. Once again, where you know maybe there's some kind of weird transhumanism or androids or replicants or whatever. And what's that like? I kind of dig stuff like that. Those sort of games kind of intrigue me. And as I was thinking about all those premises and whatnot, you know, that's one of the reasons that I'm going to hold it up again. That's one of the reasons this game really kind of got me, because there are a ton of 13 actually, 12 I guess you call it when it comes right down to it. 12 other premises that are really really compelling. I guess you call it 13, maybe a little bit more than that. There's a lot of room for exploration and for filling in the blanks in that game. So stuff like that. I don't know if you'd call that really sci-fi proper, whether you call it dystopian future, whether you call it what if, some kind of post-apocalyptic, because there's definitely post-apocalyptic in that game. But the apocalypse, hard word to say, the apocalypse itself varies. Stuff like that, just a really good premise, just grabs me and sucks me right in. So it doesn't have to be, we don't have to be going from one side of the galaxy to the other. It doesn't have to be something with that broad of a scope or big, gigantic intergalactic espionage and cloak and dagger and all that stuff. Because I'm not that great at that stuff anyway. But just some kind of premise. What's going on? Something's not right. What is it? Those kind of games, those kind of premises really kind of fire me up and make me want to play games like that. So, what about you? What kind of stuff kind of intrigues you? Or is there something else you think I should look into? That's it.